Yes, ma. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to see about an abbreviated new drug application. So, what is this abbreviated new drug application? Okay, like previous class we have seen about investigational new drug application, and there's another thing called as new drug application. So, this new drug application is not there in the curriculum, so we are not going to discuss it. So you have investigation new drug application, which we have discussed already. Now we are going to discuss about abbreviated new drug application. So why the name came as abbreviated? Okay, now we'll be seeing this one. Means what for this application is, what are the advantages? Okay, that we'll be seeing. Now, what is the importance of this one? Okay. Nowadays, when you see there is a high boom, increasing boom or publicity for generic drugs, when the government of India itself is saying you can open in generic drug formulations, generic drugs form. Okay, this abbreviated new drug application is for approval of your generic drugs. Generic drugs. If you want to manufacture a generic drug, then you have to submit application called as abbreviated new drug application. Okay, right? And generally, what is generic drug and what is brand drug? Okay, generic drug means brand drug means brand drug is a thing. If the drug was first time introduced into the market in the world, that was the first time the drug has come into the market for the first time in the world. That is a brand drug. That is a brand drug means first time in the entire world. Okay, generic drug means the same drug has been prepared by some other company and they have released it. Same drug has been released by the other company and released it without doing complete clinical trials, without doing a complete part of clinical trials. Okay, that is a generic drug. Okay, so yeah, this abbreviated new drug application is specifically designed for approval of your generic drug products, right? Yeah, and these are some of the differences. Okay, brand drug is a thing when the drug was introduced in the market for the first time in the world. That is a branded drug. Generic drug means what happens whenever a company prepares a drug, discover and develop and uh, sell the drug in the market for the first time, that is a brand drug. Okay, once their patent is completed, means whenever you produce any molecule, you're going to patent it. Okay, when the companies will patent the product, the drugs. Okay, once their patent is completed, what other companies can do is they can that once the patent is completed for the parent company, then the other companies, they can submit application and they can also start preparing same drug. Okay, right? That is a generic drug. That is, this previously the first time thing was a branded drug, and the second time the other company is preparing and selling the same product. That is called a generic drug. Okay, so in detail about we'll see in coming slides. So for now, these are the differences. So active ingredient will be same both generic drugs and branded drugs. The price comes, the price will be higher for the branded drugs and low for the generic drugs. So why it's lower here means, as I said, for generic drugs, there is no need, you have to conduct a complete phases of clinical trials like preclinical, clinical, and there is no need, you have to spend 3.5 or 4 million US dollars, or there is no need you will spend 12 to 15 years of time also. Okay, so then without doing any clinical research and clinical trials, how the drug is getting into the market, that we'll see the coming slides. Okay, next, insurance coverage are the normal things. Okay, next, yeah, inactive ingredients. Okay, these inactive ingredients for branded drug will be tested and approved by the FDA. Okay, and whereas your generic drugs, maybe a testing may be done by some other thing, but acceptable by the FDA, right? And strength and dosage, no change in the strength and no change in the dosage. Okay, appearance and look, like generally when you see a generic drug in a market and when a branded drug in the market and a generic drug in the market, obviously your generic drug won't be having that much what called as appealing look. Appealing look in the sense that much glossiness or finishing won't be there. This is a normal difference between generic drugs and brand drugs. Right now we'll be seeing what exactly is generic drug and what exactly is your abbreviated new drug application. Yeah. So what is generic drug? Okay. A generic drug is identical and bioequivalent to the brand drug. A generic drug is identical and bioequivalent to the brand drug in dosage form sense, or in the safety or strength sense, or route of administration sense, quality and performance characteristics of sense, and intended use. Means the thing is, same drug will be prepared in the same manufacturing style and same test will be performed when they prepare a generic drug. Like suppose think, I prepared a drug for the first time in the world. I am selling the drug in the market. That is a brand drug. Okay, it's at an X molecule. Okay, so my patent is completed for 10 or 15 years. Then now you want to sell the same drug. So at that time you don't need to go for doing clinical trials or preclinical trials and all those things. Okay, what you can do, you can just submit this abbreviated new drug application, and you can perform just bioequivalency studies. You can just perform bioequivalence studies and you can submit the application, abbreviated new drug application, and you can sell the drug. But your drug should be almost in, not almost, it should be entirely as same as my drug, as same as my drug. Like we'll be saying that in chemistry we'll be saying symmetrical structures, means same, both are looking same and both are same, right? So like that, both your brand drug, sorry, your generic drug should be look, and not a look wise, should be having all the characteristics of a branded drug in terms of dosage form, strength, safety, route of administration, quality, performance, characterizations, and intended use. If the generic drug, if the branded drug is prepared at X drugs of IV route of administration, then brand drug also, if you want to sell the same drug, then you should prepare same IV route drug. You cannot prepare oral route or some other route drugs. Okay. Next, all the approved drugs like new drug applications or abbreviated new drug applications will be released, will be kept in orange book by the FDA, Food Drug Administration, and WHO. Okay, so this is how your orange book looks. Okay, ensure therapeutic equivalence. That is a tagline for this book. Ensure therapeutic equivalence. Here you can see all the drugs which are approved by the FDA. It will like a periodic release. Almost we have 40th or 42nd edition running of orange books. You can get this one in the internet if you want. Just have a look at it. All the approved drugs by FDA will be kept published in the orange book periodically. And next, what standards do generic drug should meet? If it has to get approval from the market, means to gain FDA approval as a generic drug. If you want to get approval to sell the product as generic drug, then the generic drug should have similar things like a branded drugs, like contain same active ingredients like your branded drugs, should be identical in strength and dosage, and route of administration should be same. Next, same use of indications. If the indication must be same in both generic drug and brand drug. Okay, like if consider if your generic branded drug, the company is selling the drug for antihypertensive effect, and you have prepared the same drug in generic format, and you are showing certain other effect like anti-epileptic or hyperlipidemic, anti-lipidemic, then your drug won't be considered as generic drug. Your drug will be considered as some other thing called investigational new drug. It won't be a generic drug. Next, it should be bioequivalent. This is a major thing, ma. Okay, if your drug want to get approval as a generic drug, then you should be doing only bioequivalency studies, right? Bioequivalence studies will be done. In the bioequivalence studies, your drug should prove the bioavailability and bioequivalence of the study as your competitor drug. Competitor drug here means a branded drug. What is the bioavailability of the branded drug? your generic drug also should show the same bioequivalent and bioavailability. Then only you will get approval for the drug. Okay. So will meet the should meet the same batch identity about quality, quantity, and strength and okay, and it should be done by following FDA or CDSCO good manufacturing practices. Like whenever you prepare a drug, manufacture drug from the companies, that companies what do you call it, standards also should be checked. Okay, so generic drug application are termed as abbreviated because they don't need to include animal studies or human studies. Like I said, they don't perform preclinical and clinical trials. They'll just be performing bioequivalency. Means your drug is having bioavailability as innovator drug or as a branded drug. Next, when the application, if you want to submit the under application to FDA, so you'll be submitting under application to the FDA. In FDA, you'll be having CDER, Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. Okay, so that office will send the application to the Office of Generic Drugs. Then the generic drug office will review and approve. Whether you want to approve it or you want to reject it, they will do it. Okay. So on approval from this FDA, on approval from Food and Drug Administration organization, what you can do, you can start manufacturing and marketing the drug, and you can sell the drug in the market with a low cost, but the drug should be as safe and as effectiveness as a branded one. Cost should be less, and brand and efficacy should be equivalent to your branded drug, right? So next, so Office of Generic Drugs homepage, like whenever you go for internet, your generic drugs office, it provides certain additional information for generic drug approval. Means what your CDER will focus or on what aspects in abbreviated drug application, or who is preparing generic drug, what general applications a CDR will be focusing on. That one will be known when you go for office online soft copy page of your online page of your Office of Generic Drugs in CDER of FDA website. Okay. Your generic drug applicants must be focusing on bioequivalency, chemistry, and microbiology data. Yes, these are the things which whoever is preparing generic drug, they will follow. They will see the bioequivalency and chemistry and microbiology data of the drugs, like the quality of the drug, or when preparing the drug, they should see the quality of it, and they should see the manufacturing units standards and all, good manufacturing practice, good laboratory practice, good clinical practice, everything. Okay. And background information, actually when we see this Federal Food and Drug Cosmetic Act, so in the previous days, the FDA has given approval for the companies that you can prepare a new drug, abbreviated new drug application, you can prepare generic drugs, and you can sell in the market with the same effectiveness and safety, but less cost. But what happens? There used to be only less number of applications they used to get for abbreviated new drug application. So they didn't know what was the reason for it. Okay. Then in early 1980s, it became clear that the applications coming less, and they found out it was an issue. It was the reason for getting less number of applications for abbreviated new drug application or generic drugs is the brand companies, the branded companies. Like supposing whenever I prepare a drug for the first time as a branded drug, branded company, what happens? I will be giving certain period of time to sell the drug. Means only 10, 15 years or 15 years only I can sell the drug, because I have invested money and time on it. Okay. So even after that, what the companies used to do is they never used to disclose the data, or they used to make some nonsense or certain problems for the generic companies to get it approval for a generic application. So what used to happen is patent, whenever you go for patent act, so once you do a patent, at the time of near expiry, if you apply it, again your patent will be extended. So like that, the generic companies used to keep on like that. Your branded companies used to keep on extending the patent, where the other generic companies never used to get time or option to submit the application for approval. Right? At that time, what happened? The scientists or the economic people, however it may be. So Henry Waxman from California and Senator Orrin Ashwell of Oat has proposed an act called as Drug Price Competition and Patent Term Restoration Act. So this act is also called as Waxman-Hatch Act, right? So what does this act says means, based on bioequivalency basis, the generic drug should get approval. That's the first point. Next point is that once the generic branded companies taken patent for the first time for 10 years, okay, generally it will be for 10 to 15 years for first time. So once 15 years is completed, okay, so your branded companies will be given additional 5 years to extend the time because they spend money and time. After that, a branded drug company don't have the sole right to apply for patent and prepare the products. Means the branded company also can prepare the drug, not an issue. But along with branded drug, if other companies apply, then other companies also will get approval for manufacturing of the drug. So that was your Waxman-Hatch Act, also called as Drug Price Competition and Patent Term Restoration Act of 1948. Okay. So next, patent protection, the investment in the drug development by giving the company, yeah, it's the same thing what we had discussed in previous slide. The whole sole authority will be given to the patent protected branded company for the first time. Okay, when the patent expires, then other manufacturers can submit the application for it. Okay. And yeah, if you see this one clearly says your under process that does not require a sponsor to do to repeat costly animal and human clinical trials. We're already approved for the drug data already came to the market for safety and efficacy. Okay. Generally, like your IND application, your ANDA application also, abbreviated new drug application also contains specific information, right? The first one is general information what they need, like whatever we have seen. Abbreviated is came into the application because abbreviated term given for the this application because there is no need for them to include preclinical and clinical to establish safety. They just has to perform the bioequivalency, right? But the problem here is the bioequivalency studies should be performed in a same manner as a innovator drug. Bioequivalency studies should be performed in a same manner how the bioequivalency studies of branded drugs has been performed. In the same way, the bioequivalency study of generics also should be performed. Okay, in a 24 to 36 healthy volunteers because we just see the bioequivalence and bioavailability of the drug. Okay, the rate of absorption is determined or bioavailability of the generic product, which can compare the innovator drug, right? And the same route of administration should be given. Okay, and the amount of active ingredient, like they should check how much amount of, after giving IV route or oral route, how much amount of active ingredient is released into the bloodstream or how after how much time. That then will be compared to the branded drug. Thus branded drug is also having same amount of time and same amount of drug in the bloodstream after giving in the oral route or IV route. If everything both are same, then you will get approval. Okay, legal documents, right? Here the legal documents are nothing but the guidance. Like when we see in what you call as IND application, so we have seen there are certain guidelines will be prepared by the CDER of CDER of the FDA or DCGA of India. So same like your Office of Generic Drugs will prepare certain guidelines both for the staff under the people who is going to apply for your generic drug. They'll write certain application, they'll write certain standards and guidelines, and then they'll give to the both a staff to review how to review, and to the applicant how to fill it or how to perform it. Okay. Yeah, they will be given like they will be giving templates also. They will give templates of your applications how it should be, right? Because the major thing here is the major motive behind giving guidelines on this one is to achieve the uniformity, to achieve the consistency and overall applications of your thing. Okay. Next, as we seen in end application, these guidance documents are not regulations or laws which can be enforced. Means, like when we see certain principles, certain rules which has to be followed definitely. And when we see the guidelines in specifically speaking to clinical research, yes, everyone has to follow the guidelines. But if the guidelines won't imply to your trials, what you can do, you can speak to the authorities and you can amend it. You can change the certain guidelines for your project work specifically, or for your drug clinical trial specifically. Okay, yeah. So, with the exemption of not doing clinical and non-clinical or preclinical studies, the under application will follow the application form number 356H. When we see in IND, you have form number 1571 for the drug and 1572 for the what you call as investigator. Here you have 356H for this under. Yeah, this is the same guidance documents as given in index web page of your CD or website. Okay, there they given the guidelines will be given for format and content of application summaries, chemistry, manufacturing and control sections, non-clinical pharmacology toxicological sections, human pharmacokinetic and bioavailability sections, clinical statistical sections, microbiology sections. So here in the first one they will be giving format and content which are should be included in this. Now we will discuss in detail what are all these things. Okay. And the next thing they will be giving guidelines for post-marketing reports of adverse drug reactions, and for microfiche of archival copies, and documents for manufacturing of drug substance, and supporting documents for manufacturing of finished dosage forms. So now we will see one by one in detail. Next, guidelines for supporting analytical data for method of validation in new drug applications or abbreviated new drug application. Okay. Next, documents for stability studies for human drugs and biologicals. Next, guidelines for packing. So now in detail we'll see what is done now. Yes, ma'am. So we have set a specific checklist before we go for the next slide, so that we'll be seeing in different document. Okay. Next, additional comments on ANDA. It's almost like what we have seen. So this first line is for the staff or the company who is going to submit the application, who is going to review. Okay. Each component and section of checklist should be carefully reviewed, like we have seen previously. Next, every precaution must be taken so that application don't get a refusal letter. That clarifies the CDR decision to refuse an incomplete application. Next, specific copies like archival copy, review copy, and field copy to be submitted in the ANDA in a given checklist. Okay. So what is this archival copy, review copy, and field copy? We'll be seeing now. Okay. So archival copy is nothing but a cover letter where you will be having all these things, right? In cover letter, like we see generally when we write an application, a resume or some other thing, we'll be having cover letter to it. What is the content of it? Just like index page. Okay. Action application form 356H21 CFR Code of Federal Regulation 314.50. Again in that we have part A 21 CFR 314.50. Again the same thing B, you will be writing suitability statement about chemistry, manufacturing, and controls of 21 CFR 314. Uh, D1 about human pharmacokinetics and bioavailability is important thing which we have been discussing. This is a mandatory. Next, samples and labeling sections of 21 CFR 314.50. Other informations like 21 CFR 314.50G. So these things will be then archival copy. Okay. And next one is a review copy, so which will submit it to ANDA. So each technical sections in the review copy of FDA must be separately bound in their own color folders. Like they'll be having each folders will be having different colors. Manufacturing file one color, analysis file one color, and chemistry file one color. Okay, and a copy of application of FDA 356 must be included in this review copy. Okay, whereas you don't need to submit any integrated review for this thing, but it may be better and easy for the people who is getting giving upload for it if you wrote any summary kind of things for this. Next one is field copy. Field copy means this copy will be kept in your industry or place where your drug is being manufactured. Like in that file, you'll be having. Yes, mother of networking issue, don't mind. So then you'll be having a certification of an original signature of all the documents, whatever you have. Like what do you call as take example of your chemistry person signature, manufacturing chemistry signature, and controls of all the things and all the people will be having in this file. It should be kept properly. If someone asks and see what is where are the copies kept for inspection and all. Okay. Presently, the statement says a field copy certification with the original signatures of all the chemistry persons, manufacturing persons, and control persons with a copy of drug master file. So this drug master file means this file should be having entire details about the drug. Can which should explain in detail. So your drug master file will discuss in protocol. When we discuss protocol topic, we'll discuss it. Right. So this is an normal overall process of what's your how a flowchart of your ANDA application happens. So here ANDA application will be submitted to FDA, CDER, and Office of Generic Drugs. They will go for approval or rejection. If there is a problem, refuse, they will submit and a letter to the applicant once again. If there is no problem, then your Office of Generic Drugs and CDER will go for bioequivalency review, chemistry review, labeling review means the labeling is data is having appropriate details or not. Next, they will go for plant inspection. If everything is fine, then no problem. Okay. So here what happens, if there is a problem to bioequivalency studies, then they will send a bioequivalency deficiency letter. And next, if there is any problem to chemistry or labeling, then they don't approve the letter. Okay. If everything is fine and everything is happened properly, and yes, then they will pre-approve the inspection acceptability. Okay. Then approval deferred pending based on satisfactory results. If everything is fine, again they will go for checking, rechecking the bioequivalency studies and all. If everything is fine, then you will be getting approval to manufacture the drug and to sell the drug in the market. If there is any problem even at this level of pre-approval inspections, so this is the first set of inspection mark. Once this is appropriate, then the second set of inspection will happen from here and here. Okay. So if here it's fine, then you'll get approval. If not, you'll get a deficiency letter. Again, you have to go back and submit a letter. Okay. So that's about your abbreviated product application, and we'll be seeing just the summary. Summary is nothing but the manufacturer should prepare a generic drug at a low cost and should have same safety and effectiveness as a branded drug. And you should keep in mind, okay, even though you are preparing the drug for the second time, means one company already prepared the drug. But you should keep in mind that you are preparing for the first time and you should prepare so effectively. Okay, this is about your and application now. And now we'll be seeing the checklist and application of under 356H.